a man named Ethan lived alone in a small house in the desert. He worked as a gatekeeper for the railroad, making sure the trains passed safely through the area. Ethan's life was quiet and lonely, but he liked it that way. One day, while Ethan was out collecting firewood, he found a woman lying on the ground. She had fallen off a train that had passed through the area earlier that day. Ethan picked her up and carried her back to his house. When the woman woke up, she introduced herself as Emily. She told Ethan that she had been traveling on the train, but she had gotten into a fight with someone and had fallen off. Ethan felt sorry for Emily and decided to help her. He gave her food and water, and let her rest in his house. As Emily rested, Ethan learned more about her past. She told him that she was a psychiatrist, and that Ryan, her former patient, had been stalking her. She said that Ryan was a dangerous man who had killed his first wife, and that she had been forced to flee from him. Ethan felt bad for Emily and decided to protect her. Emily explained that Ryan had sought therapy after his first wife's suicide. They had fallen in love and married, but she later discovered that Ryan struggled with substance abuse and became abusive. He was admitted to a mental asylum. He killed the matron to escape and later caught Emily reading his diary, which revealed he had killed his first wife. Fleeing together, Emily jumped off the train. Ethan shared his own story with Emily. He grew up with his mother, who had wished for him to marry. He never took it seriously, and after her death, he lived in regret and isolation. Ethan believed fate brought Emily to him. As they shared their pasts, Ethan and Emily started to trust each other. They told each other about their secrets and their fears. Ethan found happiness in Emily's companionship, and Emily felt safe with Ethan. While Emily cleaned the house during Ethan's absence, she found his identity card with a different man's photo, alongside newspaper clippings about a murder involving a family of 4. When Ethan returned, he noticed her frightened demeanor and tried to console her but discovered the identity card she inadvertently left behind. She held a knife at him. He disarmed her and shared more about his past. Ethan told her that he had a girlfriend from childhood who dumped him for a wealthy suitor. Fulfilling his mother's wish, he entered into an arranged marriage. His wife invited her cousin to stay with them. Their marriage consummated with 2 children. 2 years later, during a hospital visit for a vasectomy, Ethan discovered he had been infertile. Upon returning home, he found his wife in bed with the man pretending to be her cousin. Enraged, Ethan killed them and their children. He suspected his wife had also killed his mother to make way for her affair. He fled and assumed the identity of another man, the original Ethan, who had offered him refuge before dying. As they shared their pasts, their mutual sense of isolation drew them closer, and Emily decided to live with him. Ethan sent her to fetch water from an abandoned village whose inhabitants, according to legend, fled in fear of a creature that walked upside down. While Emily was away, Ethan sensed someone lurking outside. It was Ryan, who asked if Ethan had seen anyone in need of help. Sensing danger, Ethan lied. A fight ensued, and Ryan overpowered Ethan. Ryan explained that he was a psychiatrist, and Emily, whom he called Sarah, was his patient. They had fallen in love, but she was a drug addict who lost her sanity and killed the asylum's matron, adopting her name. Ryan warned Ethan that Sarah was a dangerous psychopath and that his life was at risk. Ethan confronted Emily. She claimed Sarah was Ryan's first wife. Unable to convince him, she surrendered to her husband. As they walked away, Ethan pleaded with Ryan to let her stay. While Ryan was distracted, Emily struck him, causing him to collapse, seemingly dead. When Ryan stirred, Ethan bludgeoned him to death, assuring Emily of his trust. Ethan discovered a medical bill in Ryan's pocket, confirming that he was indeed a psychiatrist and that Sarah was his patient. Before Ethan could react, Emily struck him with a shovel. The next scene showed Ethan, now revealed as George, prepared for another day as a gatekeeper. Emily was presumably dead. A final flashback revealed that George fabricated his backstory. He was never married and had actually killed the family of his ex-girlfriend. In the closing scene, something watched George's house from an inverted perspective, accompanied by a low growl, presumably the creature that once terrorized the villagers.